Once there was darkness. Then there was corrupt video files. Sorry everyone, not much footage this week. I ran out of space and my camera didn't pick up all the footage. So this week you're sadly getting an audio-only version, and I apologize for that. I hope it doesn't impact your experience. Enjoy! Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Friends on Film, the movie podcast where two friends sit and talk about some of their favorite things in the world, and that is movies. I'm Michael, and joining me once more is Mr. Benjamin Treviño. How you doing, my man?
I'm feeling a whole lot better doing this, especially after what I just had to watch and having to prepare. This has been like an easy thing and also a hard thing to do, and that's the best thing about this. Like, I get to choose and I get to just sit and talk about it with you. That's really all I'm here for.
So what we have today, ladies and gentlemen, this Sunday is going to be the Academy Awards, and we are very excited for this year. It's been a good group of films.
I think let's start with the first positive. We don't have an Emilia Perez this year.
There really is not. And I have seen all 10 of the nominees.
I sadly did not get to see F1 because Apple TV was not working at my folks' place. That's something my mom has to figure out, but we'll get to that when I need to.
Oh, yeah. But we are excited to say that we are in a really good place with this year.
Oh, yeah.
And so what Ben and I are going to do, we have the list here, and we're going to go through it alphabetically, and we're going to say where we would rank it personally, with our last place being like, if this wins Best Picture, I'm giving up on the Academy. And number one being, if this loses Best Picture, I'm giving up on the Academy. And to be fair, we don't always agree with the Oscars. We have opinions about it. But it is fun to sit down and discuss these films and say, what is the industry currently saying are the best of the year?
Yes.
What do they do well? And so with all that in mind, we're just going to hop right into it with the very first movie, a director you really love, Yorgos Lanthimos, and that is Bugonia. So why don't you start us off? Where does Bugonia sit for you?
This Bugonia for me sits at number 5 out of 9 for me, because the thing with Bugonia is, even though I love Yorgos Lanthimos, I love his directing, I love his dry wit, I love his straightforward, no bullshit, not humor, but just like all around craziness. Bugonia was one of those movies that impressed me, not only with Emma Stone's performance, but just with how far Lanthimos took the idea and just how he expanded upon certain, like, not characters, but people under, let's just say, a mistaken belief. For those who don't know, Bugonia is about a group of conspiracy theorists who kidnap who kidnap a woman who is at a high position of a company, CEO, if you want to say, and because they believe she's an alien. Take that how you will, see the movie for what it is, and you just might be surprised. My parents were. I was surprised with his last movie, which was Poor Things, and I hope Emma Stone wins the award for Best Actress once again. I think Emma Stone just might be creeping up there as the next Meryl Streep, if I have to say so myself.
What I will say real quick before I tell you my ranking, I agree with you. Emma Stone is magnificent in this film. She delivers such a great performance. I will say I'm annoyed Jesse Plemons is not nominated.
I'm annoyed too. Yeah.
Because him as Teddy Gatz is amazing, and if he was in the category for Best Actor, he'd be my pick personally for Best Actor in a leading role. But we will get to who I think should win.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot about this movie I love, but sadly there is an element of it that, for me personally, puts it at number 9.
Oh, let's hear it.
So I'm going to get into very mild spoilers. I think this is a film that definitely deserves the Best Picture nomination.
Yeah.
But this is one of the worst endings. I think the worst ending out of all of the list.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Without going into too much detail, but you know what I'm talking about, Emma Stone has a choice she has to make at the end after everything is said and done. And this choice that she makes affects all of humanity. And it doesn't make sense with her character.
I think I see where you're coming from. And again, I don't want to spoil anything, but to our younger audiences, if you've never seen an episode of The Twilight Zone, I feel like you just might know, or if you have seen an episode of The Twilight Zone, you probably have a good idea of where the ending just might be going without getting into too much detail. I think the ending works fine in just showing, again, I think it's the Twilight Zone element, like I was trying to bring up earlier. It's the idea of like, this is how it was from the beginning, and where are we with our current state of mind in this position we're in, without, again, spoiling too much. It's hard really to gush and praise this movie without giving out the spoilers, but I thought the ending worked fine, and without going into too much details about the sets, it was really cool seeing a set that didn't look too expensive, but looked cheap enough to have enough charm to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I think my issue with the ending is that I don't think it makes sense for Michelle to make the choice that she does.
Yes.
Especially because throughout the entire movie, she says like stuff like, oh, you have this mental illness. Oh, it was my fault. Oh, everything that's happened is actually because of me.
Yes.
But the ending is presenting it like this was her only choice when it very clearly wasn't.
Okay.
And it also portrays it like this is humanity's fault for the choice that she makes, when once again, she admits that she messed up.
Maybe the idea was that it was humanity's fault, and then Lanthimos probably got lost in the wind with Emma Stone's character and what she had to do, as opposed to what the overall, the grand scheme of things, the whole like the whole idea of what does this mean as a whole.
It probably
and
would have
that
made
is
more
a trap,
sense if Teddy was the one who made the choice at the end with his conspiracy, because the whole idea of the film is that conspiracy theorists sometimes are getting to similar or accurate facts that is not known, but it leads to the wrong conclusion.
Maybe if he had met with again, don't want to spoil anything, maybe if he was with Emma Stone at the end, that probably could have added a whole new layer.
Right, that was how I felt the film should have gone, because
Yes.
I think then you could have had, the ending would have really worked, and this probably would have been in my top 5 as well.
Okay.
But the ending for me really took all the wind out of its sails.
I think I hear where you're coming from, but for me, I think the ending is supported enough because of what was going on from the beginning, as well as like how all the characters portrayed themselves. But I hear where you're coming from with Emma Stone. I totally understand.
Right, and I will say, I think this movie is very well shot. It's very well directed.
And it's got such a snappy script.
And the script is great. The score is terrifying. My favorite scene is we were having a nice dinner. That scene alone is, I want to try and find the scene that I love the most in the film, and I say that's where it got nominated for Best Picture. That for me, I think that was the scene that officially got its Best Picture nod.
Yeah.
It's very, very well made, and I just can't stand this ending personally, so I sadly have to put it at 9, because just on how weak I felt the ending was unto itself.
Totally understand where you're coming from. Well, where are we going to next then?
We're jumping into the film you haven't seen yet, which is F1.
Can't say anything about this.
Right.
I do think it looks cool. That's all I can say.
So what I will say of F1, if people remember from last year, I actually said this was an anticipated summer movie of mine.
Yeah.
I love the director, Joseph Kosinski.
The man who saved cinema.
The man who saved cinema. And Jerry Bruckheimer, I'm happy to see Bruckheimer has not really changed the types of films he makes, but he is getting recognition by the Academy for his work, because I do think he is a very interesting and well thought out producer.
Producer, yeah.
But in the case of F1, this is number 10.
Wow.
And I felt personally it shouldn't be nominated for Best Picture. I'll say it's other nods it got for editing, visual effects,
and sound stuff, yeah.
They deserved it.
That makes sense to me. Because it's a racing movie. Come on, how can you not get those kind of awards?
Right. They do a lot of great stuff in this. My issue with the movie is it is every sports movie trope you have ever seen with not a lot of substance to it.
It's just executed in a way that's more, I guess, sophisticated or some capacity.
Now, Hans Zimmer's score is pretty great. The cinematography is awesome. Brad Pitt and Damson Idris, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem and Carrie Condon, this is her one of 2 nominees she's in this year. They both do really, really well as well. I think my issue is they kind of try to do what Top Gun Maverick did, but where Top Gun Maverick, used its tropes to actually hint at the deeper story that was taking, and it's like, whoa, what did you just do with an action movie? That's impressive.
Yeah.
This movie, sadly, I feel is just kind of a by-the-numbers film. It's a very well made and very well executed by-the-numbers film. I really want to emphasize that. But I just feel it personally shouldn't have been up for Best Picture, especially when films like Blue Moon, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, It Was Just an Accident, Surratt, there are a number of other films that are up for awards that I felt this could have gone to.
I hear where you're coming from. I'll have to share my thoughts once I finally see the movie. But yeah, I'm starting to understand. And the thing is, we live in a world with a lot of sports movies that feel by the numbers. How I worked on a sports movie that was very by the numbers.
Right.
So we all know the tropes. We all have seen how this all plays out.
Right.
But I'd still give it a look based on everything
And I would
you've
still
told
say
me.
F1 is a fun movie that's worth watching. I had a good time watching it. And it is very, very entertaining.
Yes.
I think it is definitely not a bad movie. I really want to emphasize that. I just feel it's a little too tropey and doesn't do anything interesting with the tropes. And
Yeah.
So I'm a little less inclined for it to be up for Best Picture.
Also, this isn't the only movie on here with this going up against it, but this movie, I believe, got a sequel greenlit for it, I believe. Yeah, I could have sworn I saw one, but I will say, I'll bring up the other movie that got a sequel greenlit, but that's what I remember hearing, and I just thought, this is one of those movies, and when you hear there's a Best Picture nod and then it gets a sequel, I mean... Yes,
hey,
Godfather.
They could make a Rocky 2.
They could do a Rocky 2 or a Godfather 2 for all we know,
right.
but that's a very hard act to follow up on.
Right, and I do think there is a chance, though, because I will say the story does lend itself to telling other stories if they want to. It's a very self-contained film, but I can see where you can maybe do another story with this.
Okay, yeah.
And now getting into the next one on the list, it is a film that you and I both adore, and that is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Guillermo del Toro's
Where does this rank for
Frankenstein
you?
is number one for me, just a personal favorite.
So
and
you want this to win
I
Best
want
Picture?
this movie to win, even though if someone else wins, fine. But the fact that it's even like recognized, I'm so happy. The thing about this movie for me was, when I saw Guillermo del Toro was making this movie, I was excited, but there were other people saying, oh no, is he stretching himself thin? Is he stressing himself with more and more of these gothic stories? Is he going to go the way of Tim Burton, where he gets so much work and people praise him so much, and then somehow he loses his way and then he just can't seem to come back? Here's the thing. Tim Burton has made a comeback before, so if he can do it, so can Del Toro. But thankfully, that's not the position we're in here. We're in the position of he is a consistently good director, and he made a movie that made me cry at least 5 times while I was watching. I saw this in theaters, by the way. I did not watch it on Netflix. I mean, I have, but I saw it in theaters first. So worth it. Such a gripping story. And of course, Del Toro touching on fathers and sons, imperfect families, and everything in all the right places. Amazing powerhouse performances, especially not even just from Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi, who are great, but I'm blanking on this actor's name, but he's the actor who played Mr. Filch from the Harry Potter movies.
Yes.
He plays the blind man that the creature befriends and becomes somewhat of a family member
I know
with.
who you're talking about, and I feel bad I can't remember his name because I know him from Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I know him from
Harry Potter.
I know him from Pinocchio.
He's in Game of Thrones as well, yeah.
This guy's in his 80s and is working with some of the top people now.
And the thing is, like, when it comes to this guy, when I learned he was Geppetto, I'm not gonna lie, my first instinct was, okay, I probably wouldn't have gone to him first, but let's see what he does. And he knocked it out of the park.
Ripped your heart out.
And the same thing happens in this movie. He was the show stealer.
It's David Bradley.
David Bradley, there we go. David Bradley, that man deserved a Best Supporting Actor next to not even Jacob Elordi. Elordi should have been nominated for leading actor in that movie for me. But I think what really sells me on this movie, not just that it tickles my gothic funny bone, but it just has such passion and heart behind it in a movie that's meant to be seen as a horror movie. And that's just something we don't usually get with horror movies. And this movie isn't a horror movie, I would imagine. It's a gothic tragedy. And that's what it is. It wears it like a badge. It wears it with no shame. And it embraces it to the fullest in aesthetic and themes. I don't know. I feel like when The Crow came out, all the goth kids back in the 90s were saying, finally, a movie made for us. I feel like all the goth kids today seeing Frankenstein will be like, finally, another movie made for us. And you don't need to be a goth kid to like this movie, personally. Right. It's just an all-around amazing movie. Just such great performances, and I hope Jacob Elordi scores the role of James Bond. I'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, Frankenstein, I'm actually putting it number 4.
Okay.
It's really, really well made. I mean, It's weird how you mentioning how like Guillermo del Toro, some people were hesitant because I heard Guillermo del Toro does Frankenstein. I don't think you need to say anymore.
No, you really don't.
And I mean, it doesn't follow the plot of the book beat for beat, but it
follows the themes,
the source material clearly with the themes of it. I mean, the production design of this movie is insane.
It is
every costume, every set, every location. This feels like a gothic fairy tale truly coming to life.
Exactly. Del Toro knows how to engulf us in a world that is his, that he has created. He did this with Hellboy. He did this, which also does the same thing of it doesn't follow the book, but it follows the spirit of the book. Then there's also Pan's Labyrinth, and of course, The Shape of Water. All these amazing worlds and all these like not complex, but all these emotional, like not even tropes, just these emotional themes that somehow that are able to just grab the audience and suck them in and make them realize, wait, this is how I feel about this. And when a director can do that, that really says something. Because I'm not saying blockbusters suck. What I'm saying is so many movies of today just say, this is how you should feel, and it's very minimal to that capacity. Even your average comic book movie sometimes falls into that trap.
Right.
Del Toro always wants you to feel what, not he's feeling, he wants you to feel what the movie is feeling. And that is such a complicated and not easy task to do, and he nailed it. But there are other movies on here that do just as well.
I do want to quickly mention, I love Oscar Isaacs in this film.
Oh, same, yeah.
The way he shows the arrogance is great, but really it's where the character ends. The regret that he feels. And you see this shift that's beautiful. For the creature played by Jacob Elordi, my favorite section of the film, I would say, in the scenes that in section that I think got it Best Picture nod, were the moments with the creature in the mill house as he was observing and studying and learning to speak and everything.
And he's like patting himself on the head and holding the mice like as a reward.
The scene I think for me is when he comes back after learning who he is and he's telling the old man, I am a monster. And because he's been reading the Bible and he's been seeing how creatures are created.
But then he learns who he is.
And he thinks he's this abomination. And what does this old man do?
You're not a monster. You are my friend and I love you.
And it's like, showing this really mature thing. Because Del Toro has always dealt with religious themes. But this is the first time I felt that he's really saying, hey, this connects to him. And this is a really heart-wrenching film.
It is.
But it also leaves, weirdly enough, the creature not in a lonely place.
It somehow doesn't. It's like he feels bigger than he's ever... Because the funny thing is the man who helps him find his humanity was the man who gave him life but didn't have the humanity in the first place. He's saying, don't focus so much on dying. Focus on living. Be you the rest of your life. And it's like, that's what a great and powerful message.
Right.
Even, I understand why maybe some people think the ending feels a bit sporadic. It's all just a bunch of talking. It's like, the thing is, we've had nothing but conflict between these two to the point where they needed to sit down and have a talk. But the conflict was just so huge that it overpowered the idea of just rational thinking. And then once we're in this quiet, calm space, to a varying degree, once we're in this quiet space, then all that can breathe.
And I feel like the other thing, like, it's funny because two of the great performances in this movie get overshadowed by how great everything else is.
Oh, yeah.
Mia Goth in her dual role performance, and Lars Mikkelsen as the captain.
Yeah.
Like, these two are giving just as great of performances, but they're just getting overshadowed by how good everything else is. And what more can you say? It's kind of like how it's weird. It's kind of how I feel about Aaron Eckhart in The Dark Knight. He's fantastic as Harvey Dent.
Yes.
He's just in the same movie as Heath Ledger's Joker
and Christian Bale's Batman.
And Christian Bale's Batman in one of the coolest Batman stories we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he's still an incredible part of it.
And he's a secondary villain.
It's like one of those things where like Aaron Eckhart is so good, but he's just overshadowed by everyone else. That's how I feel about Mia Goth and Lars Mikkelsen in this movie.
A movie has scored well when it's like this great performance has been overshadowed by so many other great performances. So if you've got Netflix, see it for yourself, and you will not understand, but you will see what all the hubbub's about, even if you're not one of those gothic lovers. My dad wasn't, but he totally understand where I was coming from. So
now I'm going to test your recency bias. Because we're getting into a film that before you came over, you actually just watched this.
Yes.
We are jumping right now into the next film on this list, Hamnet, directed by Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao keep making movies, keep stunning. This movie is number 3 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the movie, and I think and this is what you brought up earlier. This showed Shakespeare as a person. He wasn't an idol. He wasn't an icon or anything. He was just Shakespeare, the man trying to start a family. Even though, and to be fair, I obviously the movie's called Hamnet, so the movie shouldn't revolve around Shakespeare. But funny enough, the movie, and without spoiling too much, the movie revolves very well with his wife, Agnes. Agnes, yeah. Who is the actress I'm blanking on. Jessie Buckley, who I can't wait to see in The Bride. Knocks it out of the park. She is so great in this, and how she just shows herself not only as this vulnerable woman, but as this woman who is at her wits' end with how she has to not raise her family, but how she has to maintain her family and her own sanity after a tragedy of which I dare not spoil on this podcast.
I will say Hamnet is good. I'm actually putting this at number 6 for me personally.
Okay.
And I will say, though, Jessie Buckley, I want her to win Best Actress. Her performance, she portrays all the moments so perfectly, the joy that she gets and falling in love, to the pain and grief that she does, the carrying of the motherhood, and the way that you fully understand her, and yet you want her and Will's marriage to work.
Yes.
Because you can see the passion these two have for each other.
And you want the kids to be
I do feel bad
fine,
also for Paul Mescal. He very much is a supporting role in this movie.
Oh, that's right.
And he was not nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but this is a very good Best Supporting Actor year. So I feel bad because it's like, I don't know if he should be here, which is saying something, because he gives such a great performance. But Jessie Buckley just does such a beautiful job. And I also, I don't know if you guys took a look at the credits, Chloe Zhao didn't just direct and write this movie.
She produced it too with Steven Spielberg. Yeah.
She edited the movie.
She edited it?
Yep.
Oh,
and she co-wrote it with Maggie O'Farrell, who wrote the novel. This is based on a fictional account of Agnes and Will. So I will let people know this is not a fully 100% accurate film. There is some embellishment.
But it is an adapted screenplay, to say the least.
Right.
Yeah.
And that it does a very good job of really not idolizing Shakespeare or his grief or his tragedy or painting it in this beautiful light. It shows he and Agnes went through hell with what happens. And what they do with that pain and tragedy, what he does with it, and how it affects Agnes. Oftentimes we see like the woman in a film is like being the muse or something.
She's the side character, the girlfriend, the supportive role that's being tested by the main character's not ego, but the main character's drive.
Right. And Chloe Zhao does something smart by having us follow Agnes, and it's her story.
Yes.
Will is the one supporting her through the writing of Hamlet.
And that's actually where the movie, and I'm not saying this makes the movie bad, this is the trap the movie falls in. I would have liked to have seen maybe just a tiny bit more of what was going on with Shakespeare. There was a little bit, like, obviously we saw him just kind of drinking and sitting by himself when he was out in London, but I would have liked to have seen more inner conflict. Just a little, maybe 5 minutes more.
I can get that. And I really think it is a very well-made film. I can see why Sam Mendes and Sam Mendes and Steven Spielberg wanted to produce this film. I will say, though, the reason it's number 6 for me personally, this feels like the most safe Oscar movie you can make. A historical fiction period piece with a great leading performance that connects with a lot of people, that talks about the greatness of art.
See,
me, that there's a lot of Best Picture nominees that I've seen that kind of feel like that, like La La Land.
Okay.
Like, this does have that. I feel like it's a very well-made movie. It's a very safe Oscar choice.
See,
I felt there was just some great choices for Best Picture this year that were outside of the usual Oscar box that I love.
I see the idea you're coming from where it plays it safe. There's another movie on here where I was like, I think you played it maybe a little too safe, which we will get to. But yeah.
But overall, Hamnet is another awesome film. Chloe Zhao getting her it's her second Oscar nomination for Best Director.
Yeah.
I don't know, like Nomadland, I have my issues with, but she won for a reason. It is a very well-made film. I am a big Eternals defender, and I will always be. And Hamnet, it really is just her going, I still got it.
I got it. Just don't give me too much studio notes.
Right. And she's very, very good. And I love that she's still going. Jessie Buckley does amazing work in this film.
Yes, she does.
And
she is so vulnerable, and she is so In some ways, it reminded me a little bit of, without going into too much detail about another great mother character, it kind of almost reminded me of Mrs. Brisby, like this woman who has to do everything in her power to make sure her family stays intact, but she's also in this world that's, well, maybe not world, but she's also changing in the environment around her, and it's not easy.
I'll say I don't want a CG remake of Secret of Nim, but if it
Me
is
neither.
going to happen, if it does happen, Jessie Buckley would actually be a really good choice for Mrs. Brisby.
That would be totally great. Yeah,
I think she'd be the only one I'd be really comfortable with taking on a role. Well, maybe Jessica Chastain, but that's because she can do anything.
Yeah.
Moving right along from Hamnet, we jump now over to a film that's had some controversy as of late with its lead actor, which I feel has been blown out of proportion.
Maybe just a little.
But we're getting into a film that is so well made.
Yeah.
And that is Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme, I have in between Bugonia and One Battle After Another. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts that number. Okay, so I apologize. Bugonia is actually number 6. Marty Supreme is number 5.
Okay, that's funny because Marty Supreme is number 5 for me as well.
Yeah, this is a movie where the thing about the Safdie bros, even though this wasn't their collaboration, the thing about the Safdie bros is they know how to direct stress so well.
What's so funny about this, though, is that this movie is way funnier. It's still just as stressful as Uncut Gems.
Yes, it is so funny. It's stressful, but it's riveting. It keeps your attention. You want to know, oh my God, you're going, oh my God, what is this guy doing? And then you're like, okay, wait, is he going to make it out? Oh no, what's going to happen now? It keeps you on the edge of your seat in such a way that is like, I can't remember the last time. Usually horror movies are the ones that try to keep you on the edge of your seat, but this is a drama about a guy who's not even trying to be the best at table tennis. He's just trying to maintain his life.
Well, he's actively trying to be the best.
Well, he is.
He actually says, I'm trying to be the best, and I'm trying to get out of New York to do this tournament so I can show I'm the best.
Well, then the end to me gave off a different idea, but to be fair, that's probably more of a last or final revelation. But keep going,
Right, and that, I will say the ending of this movie is phenomenal. It's amazing to me how much I despised Marty as a character.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely could not stand him, and yet I couldn't look away. And I wanted to see where it was going. It's like, I've never hated a character so much that I wanted to keep watching.
Yeah.
That is such a hard balancing act, but the direction by Josh Safdie is brilliant. Him and Ronald Bronstein's script is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The editing is great. And we just got to say it. Timothy Chalamet's performance is fantastic.
He is climbing up there, as I've said in the past. He started off very much as the stoic lead, kind of like Ryan Gosling or Daniel Craig. And he's slowly rising up there to being all that more charismatic, because this is the most like out there performance he's done compared to everything else. Like, okay, Call Me By Your Name was good, and Dune, I mean, he's the leading man and he does a great job, but again, he's the stoic leader. This is him being more or less a cocky wise ass,
right?
To the point where it's like he's hooking up with freaking Gwyneth Paltrow in this movie, and he makes it look easy, and I'm jealous for the guy. I was like, how do you make it look so easy?
What I love about this film is that he's almost a caricature of a douchebag.
Yes,
but they give him just the tiniest bits of humanity, like when he learns what happens to a girl he hooked up with that his childhood friend.
Yes,
and what he thinks her husband did to her. He takes some time. It's like, that's time he is wasting, and he knows it, and he does it because
he cares about her.
Cares about her. And really, it's the ending. It's after the final table tennis, and he goes home. You can feel this shift. And why I love the ending, the final shot made me love him.
Same. The final shot, without spoiling too much, the final shot where he's looking at a certain someone, I actually almost started getting welled up myself, like all that stress, and then he had all that stress too, and I was only feeling a portion of what that guy was feeling. And you just imagine what he was really going through in the motions right there. It's
right.
I guess if there was anything I had to say about this movie that was, I guess, a negative, maybe it indulges too much in not showing enough table tennis.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Probably, but I'm not saying table tennis should have been the overall focus. I probably would have liked to have seen him compete more, but Chalamet's performance and his arrogance really drive the movie as best as it could, and everyone else he's working off of also helps the movie stay afloat.
The casting is also so inspired because it's
great.
People who aren't really actors, which the Safdie brothers do all the time, but Heck, Kevin O'Leary,
Yeah.
a freaking Shark Tank, a
Yeah.
well-known
That-
billionaire,
Exactly. I was
is
like, wait.
somehow great in this, and he improvised the best line in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm a vampire born in 1602. That was improvised.
That was, yeah.
Like, how is what?
How
what
is
kind
a
of
Shark Tank person making me chills? I'm like, okay, to be fair, the sharks on Shark Tank probably send chills on anyone who have to
right?
pitch
But
to them.
for
yeah.
an acting performance,
Yeah.
that is impressive. It's like, what is in the water with Josh Shafty that
Yeah.
he can direct non-actors to these amazing performances?
Exactly.
I will say, I'm not. Timothée Chalamet almost was my best actor choice, but there's another guy I really want to win this year.
For me, he's my best actor
Right.
choice.
Now,
yeah.
I will say, recent comments, he talked about ballet and opera. And
how it's a
what I will
niche
say
crowd.
is,
Yeah.
it was a bit. I will agree that it's not exactly the best comments. I can see where every side is coming from. But man, are we blowing that out of proportion? People are trying to really cancel him for this, saying it's disrespectful what he said. And sure, it is disrespectful.
It's
There's
like-
a lot he said. But guys, Sean Penn is up nominated for an Oscar, and he has said way, way, way worse stuff.
He said worse. He started smoking at the freaking Golden Globes. He thinks he's at that point of his life where he can literally, I mean, it's not even recently. It's been going on for a long time. He thinks he could literally just do whatever and no one will say anything. And Chalamet, the thing about him is, okay, of all the controversial things he said, this is the first that I've learned. And he's still young. He's got time to mature.
Yeah, he's in his 30s and he's
Yeah.
learning. And I also will say, people are like, well, that's what happens when you date a Kardashian. He is a grown man. He can say whatever. He's his own dude.
He really is, yeah.
And he makes his own choices. But honestly, this choice, like, sure, I disagree with what he said, and I think it was a little
he
disrespectful.
probably should sit down and talk with his mom.
Right. But other than that, no, I think he deserves to be here. And if he wins Best Actor, I'm not going to be mad about it.
Yeah.
Because he really did give his all, and this is one heck of an amazing performance
It
by
was.
him.
My only issue with
I
him...
will also add one more thing. I want this to win Best Editing. The editing of this film is spectacular.
See-
Everything is so well timed, from the tension and the comedy,
Okay.
and how well paced the story goes. Like, it doesn't let up, and when it finally does, you're like, what just happened?
See, for me, it's a draw with another movie, which we'll bring up. But my one issue, and this is very much a nitpick, Timothée Chalamet, as far as I've seen, cannot grow facial hair. That's all I can say.
He can grow the unibrow, though,
He
pretty
can grow
well.
a unibrow, yeah. But that's all I'll say.
All right, jumping in from Marty Supreme, we go to a film from a director that I really have started to really love and admire.
And a director I'm starting to come around with, too, personally.
And it is my personal number one, One Battle After Another, which is a hair behind its second place. I will say what my number two on this.
Yeah.
If it wins, I will not be mad.
I won't be mad either,
But number
personally, yeah.
one, where does it sit for you?
For me, it sits at number 4.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Hamnet just won me over easily enough, but One Battle, this is the one I want to win Best Editing, personally. It is
Oh, if it wins,
so
I will not
snappy.
be upset.
This is the snappiest script out of all of them, probably, compared to Bugonia, which that was already pretty, like, well knit. This is one of those, where is this all going? How is this all going to end? Oh my God, this is such... I don't want to get into too much spoilers as I say per usual, but as you were saying earlier, this is a movie that likes to show both sides and not show off one as a specific villain. It is showing the far right are nut jobs and the far left are terrorists. There is no good guy, but there is very much an in-between we have to find.
Right, which is Chase Infinity's character, who is finding the in-between. And honestly, for me, I don't know where I could even begin. Like, this is a political thriller action comedy. And
yeah,
it somehow nails every single aspect of that sentence correctly.
Exactly.
And it shows how each side reaches their conclusions, but it shows how these extremist views and how much it destroys and hurts everyone around them and themselves.
Exactly. And the beauty of it is it shows how we come to a new resolution.
Mhm.
It shows it's not too late, even when it seems that way. We all have been there. We've all been in that state of mind. It was like, it's too late. I can't fix this. You can. You just need to go the extra mile. It's not easy, but it is worth going.
The other thing I love is that it also shows you people who, in their true colors, when forced into tense situations, and how
Yes.
relationships you thought you could connect with can instantly snap like that. And that's just sadly, honestly, what has happened so many times.
And nowhere is that more present than, and even though if this wins best cinematography, I won't be mad, but there's another movie I want to win, but nowhere is this movie's honesty and subtlety more present than in its cinematography. It has got the scenes are so well lit. You feel the passion and the emotions of all the characters. I say passion because the two leads do fall in love. I won't go into all those details, but you even sense every bit of not just emotion, but you also get a sense of just tension and build up through every scene. You feel like you know where it's going to go, but you don't at the same time, because this is a movie that operates on, how do I put it? It operates on chaos. There's no other way. It is such a chaotic film in such a brilliant manner.
Right. I will say the action and thrills of this are magnificent. I've heard that Paul Thomas Anderson really wants to do a Spider-Man movie, so Kevin Feige let it happen.
If Daniel Destin, was it Daniel Destin Cretton?
Yeah.
Cretton. If he gets too stressed, just bring in Paul Thomas Anderson for God's sake.
Or just let him do a Spider-Man movie and let him do whatever he wants.
Oh, true. Yeah, have him do an Elseworld Spider-Man with
Tom Holland. It would be great.
Yeah.
But what I also love is that Bob, played by Leo DiCaprio, first, the main character's name is Bob. I love that.
Yeah.
And he's probably the worst action hero of all time.
Yeah.
And DiCaprio's performance is so good because he nails every aspect of the pain this character goes through, but then he finds the humor so beautifully. And one of my favorite scenes in the movie when he's on the phone with the guy trying to get in.
Password, yeah.
Yeah, the password.
The time. What is the time of day?
And finally, like the phone operator goes, Sir, you're violating my safe space.
I'm violating your safe space. You give me your supervisor. He turns into like a male. He turns into an anarchist male Karen in that moment. It's like, I was watching this like, are you seriously turning into a freaking Karen in a moment when you're like operating outside the government? Are you kidding me?
The other funniest character in this is Benicio del Toro's sensei.
Yes.
He gets so many funny moments, but also you see why people respect him. And as much as we talked about not liking Sean Penn as a person,
when he does it right,
he is so good in this movie. He has so many creepy moments that just make him unlikable.
Just even his freaking lip movements when he meets Leo DiCaprio's girlfriend in this movie. He has like this like kind of lip movement. I was like, what are you doing? Like,
and he is so creepy, but then the way he wants to join this Nazi group that call themselves legitimately the Christmas Rangers and says with his full chest, I am a Christmas Ranger. Like, what? And what I love is these guys are so stupid and dumb, and then they become just as scary and terrifying because of what they are trying to do. You're like, how am I laughing at you and think you're pathetic and also terrified of you at the same time?
Well, it's also because the stakes, and without spoiling too much, the stakes also connect to the main character. It's like, of course the stakes connect to the main character. He's the bad guy and Leo's the good guy. Well, there's a little bit more behind that.
We will say the basic premise of the film is DiCaprio's daughter, played by Chase Infinity, is trying to escape Sean Penn, who is this U.S. general, and they both have a connection to her. Bob is trying to save her, Sean Penn is after her, and she's trying to survive as well. It's very much taken with a lot of substance. And maybe a little bit of the Coen brothers' dry wit humor. This movie also has a 20-minute opening prologue to set the stage.
And I didn't feel those, though. That 20 minutes felt like 10.
Right, and it is held together by, I think, the best performance in the movie, Teyana Taylor as Beverly.
Yes.
Like, in 17 minutes... she makes you understand her, she makes you like her, then not like her, and she looms over as a shadow for the rest of the film, and everyone's opinion of her you can understand. And the film doesn't portray her as a hero or a villain.
It's the Voldemort/Sauron thing. They leave enough of an impression to make you feel that well, they're not dread, but you feel that their presence even when they're out of the movie.
Right, I should say it's more like it's weird to say it's more like a very... I would say it's very Darth Vader in the way. Well, I say
Sauron and Voldemort in that they weren't present for a large chunk of their movie.
Right, that's what I was saying. Like in episode 4, Vader's only in the film for 30 minutes.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
you feel his presence over the entire film.
Yeah, that's true.
And I would say that Teyana Taylor's Beverly really does that. And I mean, this whole opening sequence, and you understand where she's coming from. You feel every moment of it.
Yeah.
And I really want her to win Best Supporting Actress because she does all this in 17 minutes, and she's not really a traditional actress. She's been a singer for a very long time.
Yeah, and Leo, if he takes home the Oscar instead of Timothy, I won't be mad, but it'll definitely be one of those moments where it's like, well, but he's got plenty. Wait, did he win for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Nope, he's only won for The Revenant.
Just The Revenant. Okay, I gotta be honest, this is probably my third favorite performance from Leo. Not that his performances from when he was younger were bad, but he was still trying to find his roots.
Right.
Ever since The Revenant and then Once Upon a Time, that's where I felt like I was seeing Leo not play a character, but transform.
Right.
He transforms himself into
in
this.
his early days, of course, he was the young, awesome, look at me, how great I am. And now he's playing characters that maybe are a little pathetic.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, Bob is probably one of his most pathetic and yet most sympathetic roles he's played yet. Like, you're telling me this is the same guy who played Jack Dawson in Titanic?
Or the same guy who was in not Gilbert. What's in Gilbert Grape? Or freaking well, actually, Catch Me If You Can wasn't so much a pretty boy performance. He was very much, that was Spielberg saying there's something else to this guy. Yeah.
Right. And he is a magnificent actor still in this. And I really, really do love his performance.
I do too.
Chase Infinity, what a find. She's only 25 years old. And she got nominated for everything except the Oscar for Best Actress.
It's insane.
I'm very curious to see where she is where she's going to go from here. And I'm really hoping it's going to be a long career. Kind of like Odessa Azion in Marty Supreme.
Yeah,
she
I totally
was
feel
another
that.
great find. And yeah, for this One Battle After Another, I just buy a hair from my second choice, which we'll get to later on.
Yeah.
This is what I want to personally win Best Picture. I want
totally
Paul
understand,
Thomas Anderson
yeah.
to take home Best Director. And I really want... and I really think he's going to win Best Adapted Screenplay with this.
The one I'm rooting for is, yes, with Best Supporting Actress, same with you, and mainly editing, because, man, does this movie feel so tight-knit. If the editing wasn't as great as it was, I don't think this movie would have even gotten any recognition, at least in terms of a Best Picture nod.
Right. It is a very well made, and it's kind of like we were talking about a couple weeks ago with how great action movies have gotten.
Yeah.
And this movie ended up on my honorable mentions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is an action movie.
You know what? It technically is.
It is an epic action adventure across like, I want to say is it the Eastern Seaboard, or no, it's
Western. Okay, it's a little bit is in
it's the Western. It's in California.
Well, a large chunk of it is also in New Mexico, and some of it is in El Paso. But I want to say you're right. Let's say Western area.
Yeah, it's more of a Western area, and it's very well done. So I might rewatch it once we're done with this because it's just that good. It's such a fun movie. I really, really enjoy it. So yeah, my personal pick, One Battle After Another.
One small recommendation: do not watch the trailer for this movie. It does not do it any justice. Or at the very least, when I saw the trailer, I just kind of shrugged it off and said, okay, Paul Thomas Anderson's making another movie. But then everybody started raving about it. Maybe that was just a me thing, but just don't watch the trailer. Just see it for yourself.
Right.
Be surprised. Don't have anyone else, or don't let the trailer tell you how good it is.
Now we're getting into a film I feel like you and I are actually going to be split on when you started talking about it.
Oh boy.
Because we are getting into the Brazilian film The Secret Agent. So where do you have this sitting?
I have this bottom of my list. Now, this is not a bad movie. Let me just stress that. My issue with this movie is that once the whole premise of this guy trying to figure out this conspiracy and this corruption within his city, the movie gets a little indulgent in its intricacies and trying to like have the main character resolve all this. And that was a bit of a problem. It made the movie go on maybe a little too long, like 30, if not 20 minutes, when it could have been like an hour. Maybe not an hour, but it could have been 2 hours at most. If not an hour and 45.
I can see where you're coming from, but here's the weird thing.
Yeah.
This is number 3 for me.
Wow.
This one, when I finish it and I've been thinking about it, it's not left me. I get real serious No Country for Old Men vibes.
I got that
film.
too, yeah.
And what I love is the point of view keeps shifting, but it keeps building the tension up to what you know is coming.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think is so sad is like you hear the story of the secret agent, so you're inclined to believe Wagner Moura's character is this deep political conspiracy theorist who fought against this. No, he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a guy doing his job, living his life. And why is he getting hunted down by the Brazilian dictatorship? Because he once insulted them.
Yeah.
He just said something mean to them and they don't like him.
That's where I was. Yeah.
God, that is just. And the fact that this isn't based on a true story like this other stuff, but the knowing that this was real, that the people, like, I did do some research, the people that they were following in this film, this group of people that have to go by different code names, that was a real thing. And these were just people living their lives, and their government began to just hunt them down for the smallest of reasons.
Yeah, See, that's where I was like, you've got such a great setup, but once we get a little deeper and deeper, this is where I was like, at a certain point, I started to feel like, this is good, but maybe if this was a mini series, like a 4-hour mini series, I probably would have respected it a little bit more, given it a bigger pass.
Yeah,
but
for me, the meandering felt necessary because it just showed you these lives of these good people.
Maybe because I'm looking at it as a movie, of course. Right. I just feel like it needs to be, and because the other movies were just so, like I was saying, so snappy with like their script. I was like, I'm guessing
that's why I really like this one, because it wasn't afraid to sit,
take its time.
And by taking its time, like, I think some of the meandering moments you're talking about, I think specifically to this scene where the two men that are the hitmen trying to hunt him down, they just are sitting having dinner, and they're being just very casual and calm about it, but then they start casually talking about how they killed people, and you realize just the level of evil that's just sitting down and eating, and you realize it's human.
It is.
And that same thing happens with the heroes of this. And I remember at first being confused about the opening scene and why it was there, but by the end I realized it was always coming, and he was next. And the way that this film jumps back and forth, and sometimes it feels like it's a cop-out, but it's not. It shows you just why things end the way they do. And Wagner Moura, for me, I want him to win Best Actor. I don't, because he doesn't have like any flashy or big monologues. He doesn't have this significant thing. But once we got to the scene where he's just sitting in his father-in-law's theater, and he's just talking with the people who's trying to help him escape, and that scene, he doesn't like go crazy. And here's the other part. So his son at the end, how we see, without going to spoilers, we see his son, the older version of his son at the end. That's Wagner Moura. He plays a dual performance in this movie.
I was actually unaware of that. Okay, that changes it a little bit for me. I was unaware of that, actually. That's one of those cool surprises where I didn't get to do too much research on a lot of these movies because I had to really cram. But that is interesting now.
And for me, these meandering moments were necessary because it really just showed you the humanity of all these people, and only to watch how cruelly it was stripped away in this very real time. And the way they use local legends, like they have this legend of this walking foot that kills people to strike again.
I thought that was interesting.
But you realize this is just a ploy by the dictatorship to just scare people into behaving.
Exactly.
And to know this was actually happening, and the sad fact is it's happening a lot around the world still in many countries. Like, it is powerful storytelling in every sense of the word. And for me, I have it at number 3 because I was just blown away by how hard it hit me. And it is, I will say, it's kind of hauntingly not left me just how good this movie was.
I think what held this movie well enough for me was the atmosphere, but to be fair, all these movies had great atmosphere. Like, if there was none, then obviously we wouldn't be talking about any of this. But what also held it was just the honesty of just, like you said, people interacting and how human it felt. That's what held it enough. But like I was trying to say earlier, at a certain point, maybe like we don't need to wrap up anything, but we need to start getting a little more and more into like what we're trying to.
The vibes I really got from it was that it felt a bit like a Richard Linklater hangout movie. These are just people hanging out. And yet there's this underlying dread underneath it. So for me, that's why it's funny how, and I'm not saying you're wrong for disliking the meandering moments. For me, those are the moments that made me love the movie. And it goes to show you how we can interpret films in different way. For me personally, those are the moments I loved, and it made the movie stronger for me. And they were the moments that kind of held the movie back for you. But I found it to just be an excellent film with an excellent cast and an excellent lead performance that personally I want to win Best Actor, just because I feel Wagner Moura did a brilliant job making really selling the situation and the pain he is hiding from what he has lost and what he's trying to save.
Yes.
And then the way he concludes that through the character's son.
I gotcha.
Like, just a masterful story. And also, any movie that talks about how great Jaws is always going to be a good movie.
Yeah, that's true. And also shows off a little of The Omen.
Now we're going into a film that is also really, really good, but I don't know. I know it's held back. We are getting into Sentimental Value.
That was another movie that unfortunately does a little meandering, but here's what I will say. I like seeing a movie where a person has to find themselves as well as within their family.
Right.
That's a really nice reflection. And without going into too much details about the plot,
where does it rank for you?
For me, it ranks at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's at number 8 for me.
Okay, it's funny because it's at number 8 for me as well.
Yeah, so this is a movie where, like I said, was meandering. Let me start with the positives. I like that it is very much a character study. I like that it's tackling issues of family and where people get certain insecurities as well as certain like misdirection. I just think there's only so long we can see Stellan Skarsgård be sad and sorry about himself that we need to start seeing more, not development, but more rekindling, I guess, with him and his daughter. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It takes a while for us to get there.
Right. I will say every actor in this movie
just spot on.
I mean, there's a reason they all got Oscar nominations.
Yeah, Ellie Fanning was just in a Predator movie, and then I learned she was in this. I was like, yeah, there's a reason why this woman's getting great roles nowadays.
Every performer, though, is spectacular. I feel like they probably would have swept any other year, but they're just in a really good year. Joaquin Trier's direction of this film, it's very different from Triangle of Sadness.
It is.
But he really does a good job humanizing these folks and everything they're going through.
Yeah.
And a lot of the movement of the cinematography and the editing is very well paced. And the meandering moments, I feel they work best when, as you said, and other than when Stellan Skarsgård's feeling sad, it's like, okay, we have a lot of those scenes. But the moments where the rest of the family break
mainly
down.
the daughter and a little bit of Ellie Fanning too, to some capacity. But and not even just the main daughter, the other daughter too. There's Stellan Skarsgård has 2 kids in this movie, and without giving too much away about the plot, Skarsgård is a director who is trying to make his next movie. It's not his magnum opus. It's not his finisher. It's just his next movie, and he wants his estranged daughter to play the daughter of this movie, but she says no, and he goes to Ellie Fanning instead. Well, okay, not Ellie Fanning in real life, but Ellie Fanning's character. Right. And I'll leave it at that.
I think this movie almost works for me. I think this is a personal nitpick for me. Real quick, I'll get into, before I get into my actual issues, personal nitpick, and for why it's a little bit here, it has my least favorite color palette in all of film, with a dull gray and blue color palette for most of the movie.
It is, yeah. This director has made other movies, and what you were saying, why it feels different, that the other movies were almost usually satires specific towards whatever like subject matter he was talking about, whether it be the upper class or just whatever, or politically. This is more or less just a character study.
Right.
So when we've got scenes like, how do I put this? I guess when we've got not even so much scenes, but when we've got just this honest story that's a slice of life, and even then life can be gray, that doesn't mean we want to see gray.
Right. And then my other thing, I really wonder about this for like the casual moviegoer. I think for filmmakers and cinephiles, this film will affect people pretty deeply. But if you were a casual moviegoer with kind of just a passé knowledge of film and how it works, does this film hit the same emotional hit that I think a lot of people within the Academy would admire?
I'm not entirely sure on that front. See, this felt like a personal movie, not specifically for the director. Maybe did he also write the script?
Yeah, he wrote the script.
Okay, so yes, if this is a personal film for him about him reflecting on his own family or a friend of his, I mean, more power to him. He made a great movie. But like we were saying earlier, there's only so many times we can watch Stellan Skarsgård get lost within his own, not ego, but in his own just work.
Right. I will say though, the fact that this is Stellan Skarsgård's first Oscar nomination,
that's insane.
That's a crime against
really
humanity.
Is, yeah.
And I'm glad Elle Fanning got her first Oscar nod, and the 2 daughters. The other daughter, I actually have it here. Why are we even like we can't say it?
Yeah.
It is I can't read the name from this far away.
Renata, I can't even read that last name actually. So it's probably I can't read that last name personally. It's a Norwegian name.
Renata Renese.
Renata Renese, yeah.
She is amazing in this. She's going to be in a bunch of stuff. She's actually in the upcoming Backrooms movie.
I heard about that.
And I'm so excited that she's in there. And then I feel bad I can't pronounce the other actress who's up for it, and I don't think you even want to attempt that. It's Inga something.
Yeah, she played the other daughter.
She is also magnificent.
She was great, yeah.
Everyone in this movie is phenomenal. It's very well directed. It's very well made. I think it, and I just think that maybe I didn't emotionally connect to it as much.
I think it's a little, even though this is a character study, I think the performances are a little too real in terms of how people are in real life. I think that's its big issue, which isn't a problem. It's just it leans a little too much into something when it could have been embracing something deeper.
Right, and I think it's very well made. And we were talking about good endings. Man, the ending of this movie.
The ending, I'm not going to lie, without spoiling, we're going to say that a lot. It had me going, wait, she's not seriously gonna, oh my God, oh no, the background's just, oh, thank God. That's where I was like, oof.
Right. It's a very well made done. It's got some dark Norwegian humor
really
in it. It
does.
Well. There's some very, very well made things here. And yeah, overall, it's a very good movie that's worth watching.
It'll give you sentimental value.
Very good. And we're getting into now a film.
Probably
I don't know how we're going. How many more times are we gonna discuss this movie?
This is the Crown King. This is literally next to probably One Battle. This movie might as well be the critical darling out of all of them.
This is the movie that has the most nominations of any Oscar film of all time.
It is also the most original idea in terms of a blockbuster.
And that, of course, is Ryan Coogler's Sinners. My number two.
Hair. Yeah, by a hair as well. Yeah.
Like, if this wins Best Picture, I'm not gonna be mad.
No, me neither.
If Ryan Coogler wins Best Director, I'm not gonna be mad.
But what was even cool about Ryan Coogler...
If he loses Best Original Screenplay, what are we doing?
Yeah, but what was so cool even for Coogler, I mean, obviously he's happy, but he's got the mindset of, look, I'm glad I got all this recognition, but making this movie was the real reward for me. And that it shows in this movie. It really does.
It is very similar to One Battle After Another. It plays with so many genres. It's a hangout movie, a cultural historical period piece.
It's
a horror movie. Yeah. It's a vampire movie, an action movie, and even at some points, it's a musical.
Yeah.
And somehow
it works.
It's like some of the most amazing work that's ever been done.
What was your favorite part in the movie, I guess? Yeah.
It's the I Lied to You sequence where they're bringing out where the IMAX camera spins around and we see the different cultures and the way that music influences
that was my favorite moment too. That's the moment that's
only followed by the second favorite scene is the final vampire fight. Like, and the third is the going down to Dublin when we figure out how many people have been turned into vampires. Yeah. And it's both fun and terrifying.
All at once. Coogler, you got it all nailed down. You made a movie. You made the movie of the year, man. It is.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan did not have to be split into two characters, but they did it, and it works.
Smoke and Stack, what I love is you see how similar they are.
Yeah.
But it allows when their differences really start showing, you really see the range these two go through and what their different kinds of stories are.
Exactly.
And the fact this movie takes place in a day is pretty spectacular because you see the history that everyone has had beforehand. Like, you could have honestly made 3 or 4 movies before this one and this be the finale. I like to... It's going to sound weird. My weird comparison is it reminded me of my favorite anime, Cowboy Bebop.
I understand that, actually.
Yeah, and that Cowboy Bebop feels like the final season of a show we never got to see. Yeah. Sinners kind of feels like the last movie in a series we never got to see.
And yet you're still satisfied with what you're given somehow.
I do want to make a defense of something as a Christian, though.
Oh, okay.
People have been saying this movie mocks Christianity when Sammy is reciting the Lord's Prayer and the villain, played by Jack O'Connell, starts quoting and he's like, "The words bring me comfort." And a lot of people are saying, oh, that was showing God didn't. No, it wasn't. Because here's the thing. The vampire had won in that moment. He could have just bitten Sammy while he was speaking and had been fine. But instead, he mocks him. he takes a moment, like, to quote The Incredibles, he starts monologuing. Like, he
Mm.
was beaten and trying to bring Sammy down to his level, only for the sun to come up.
Yeah.
Only for let there be light to appear. And the other thing, many people said, well, Sammy leaves the church at the end of the film, which that's not really a spoiler. You kind of tell coming a mile away. But the post-credit scene shows Sammy in the church singing This Little Light of Mine.
Yeah.
Which is a song where someone is singing, they're going to use their gifts to show what God has given them and to show the goodness and light of the world.
It's not about finding the light and darkness.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about showing the light that was given to you in the world. And it shows that Sammy never left his faith.
No.
Like, this is the final note that Coogler ends the movie on in the post-credit scene. Sammy didn't leave his faith. He left the place.
Church, yeah.
Well, and I wouldn't say he left the church itself as an entity.
Well, okay, I meant
he left the church that did not see his gift and did not recognize
that's what I was trying to get at, yeah.
And because had he used his talent, it clearly would have brought people closer to faith.
Yeah.
And you see that when he's using his gifts, he's bringing people closer and he's starting to get it, only for true evil and the vampires to arrive. And so, as a Christian, no, this film is not insulting Christianity or any kind of faith. It is pointing out how Christianity was used as a weapon in colonization across the time periods. Heck, Ryan Coogler has talked about how the Irish went through a very similar thing.
Yes.
And speaking of someone who's Irish, yeah, that is a story that has been heard. Now, there were many converts who did go willingly, and there were many that were then not converts that were using it to oppress people.
Yes.
And that is something that has been discussed at length, and it is something that should be addressed is when our faith was used as a weapon, was it true?
Yeah.
And I really think that's what Sinners does so powerfully. It doesn't present faith as a bad thing.
No.
But it presents it as when you use it for a purpose other than what it says it's for, how are you different from a vampire? And I mean, and by the way, that's all a backdrop to how awesome this movie is.
This movie, like, we now have a new category this year, which is best casting. I feel like this movie should get
This should win.
This should win best because I was talking about snappy dialogue. These are snappy characters. I didn't want anybody to die. I felt bad, and I was like, no, when I saw like one person die after another, even people who are more close to the main characters. That's how gripping this movie is, y'all. But really, watch it for the moment when time warps.
Also, Haley Steinfeld in this movie.
Michael B.
Josh
Jordan.
Allen,
yeah.
you are a lucky man.
You are a lucky man, and Michael B. Jordan, you are lucky too.
And one named Masaku, who plays
yes, the witch doctor.
The witch doctor. She is amazing in this film.
She was so
But I personally, in the best supporting actor category,
Delroy Lindo
all the way. Like, I like Stellan Skarsgård. How is this his first Oscar nomination?
Yeah.
And secondly, yeah, I mean, the scene where he's in the car and he's just chatting and having a great time, and he's really funny.
And he's holding his banjo or whatever.
And then he tells the story about how he lost a friend of his, and you start seeing the pain and how he turns that pain into music. Like, this is all in one scene.
One scene.
And yet, throughout the rest of the movie, he's just as good. And also, I just need him. But I would love an Oscar-winning performance where he's choking down garlic and is swearing like a sailor. Like, I that's another thing. It's like in common with One Battle After Another. It's funny too.
Yeah. Like,
there's a moment where like Smoke is doing something with a girl, and Sammy walks over and he's like, he's busy. Go get him.
Yeah, go get him. So even though they've been possessed, at that point, it's so good. So many things happen. I guess if there's not even a negative I have to bring up, there's a concern, I should probably say. How do we feel about the studio? Because obviously the studio was going to do this. How do we feel about them greenlighting a sequel for this movie? Because that was what F1 was potentially going to do. This movie we know is getting another sequel. Michael B. Jordan is still attached to it, but Coogler is not coming back.
Right. Well, Michael B. Jordan has done that before with the Creed films.
Yes.
And they were very successful. So I imagine he'll definitely shepherd the film.
Coogler directed Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I mean, the next movie he's doing is the third Black Panther.
Yeah, okay.
And then he's going to do a romantic comedy that he says he wants to make as good as When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, man.
Let Coogler do whatever he wants after this movie. Like, he really has that free pass.
Let Coogler direct Spider-Man, because he has said Spider-Man is his all-time favorite hero.
Yeah, if he wants to do Tom Holland Spider-Man, and even it's kind of it's kind of obvious, but Miles Morales, like,
yeah,
if you need to do a Miles Morales live action movie that's just as good as Into the Spider-Verse,
get
you
Coogler.
kind of need to make it Ryan Coogler.
Either get Coogler, or if there's no one else available, maybe Ava DuVernay. Who knows? Yeah.
I also would say that if you have not seen it, there's a great video from Kodak on their YouTube channel where Ryan Coogler breaks down different film formats and why they are the way they are and how film works. That alone is just like, he could have been a film professor, and here he is just loving the work of the film. And I like how he has a very good mindset about how I don't make the films for the accolades. The accolades are the icing on the cake of the movie I already got to make. And I love that that's his belief. And yeah, man, do you see where I say Sinners is by a hair?
That's
for
the same
Best Picture?
for me. It's just it's that good. It was a good time. It was a summer blockbuster that was an Oscar movie, and I didn't know how amazing it would be. Like, and an original idea in an era where we're always going, oh, Hollywood's out of ideas. Well, here's an original one for you.
And the fact that it was so successful.
Yeah.
And that just makes me happy.
It made me happy too, because again, with a lot of original ideas, they don't usually tend to do well because no one's familiar with it. Well, we're familiar with this now, so see it on HBO Max if you can.
Right. And finally, we have one more film to talk about. I feel like this one has gone kind of under the radar, which is a shame because I think it's a really quiet but beautiful film.
It's very atmospheric, but it does have one thing. Well, like, it has a few things holding it back. We'll get to it.
Right. We're getting to number 7's Train Dreams.
See, that's me too. Train Dreams.
Wow, we both said number 7.
Yeah.
I like that we have some wildly different picks, and then we have some very similar.
Train Dreams was a movie that, if it didn't have good atmosphere, I don't think the movie would have worked. And on top of that, this is also a movie with a narrator. I don't mind narration in movies.
Will Patton's voice is what makes it fine.
It is a very good soft voice. My issue is that I think it turns up a little too much.
Right. This film, I'm going to be honest. So I think you said for best cinematography, you want Sinners to win, right?
Yes.
I'm personally by a hair. It's my second place by a hair again, and I'm sorry because Train Dreams.
I understand. Actually,
my bet pick because it is just one of the best looking films, and what I love is Train Dreams is just this quiet journey of going through one man's life and how it changes through the ages, and
how he also endures just the worst of the worst without spoiling too much. This is just a man who starts a family, and he's a logger in the what do we want to call it? Is it the
he's a lumberjack?
Lumberjack, yeah. And it's in like Manifest Destiny era America, and he's just doing everything he can to get by. And I will not dare say
Joel Edgerton as Robert in this is quietly
the
amazing.
Second Bob in this Oscar category.
That's I didn't realize that. Yeah. That is hilarious.
If he wins, I understand actually, because his performance.
Well, he's not nominated for Best Actor.
Oh, okay. Well, man, that's a shame because just his looks and just the way he says his lines, it's so honest and authentic to like how the environment. If he told me like, yeah, I decided to live in a log cabin and try to live that life for a little while, I was like, I believe it. I totally believe it. Also, on top of that, Felicity Jones is great as his wife in the movie, and William H. Macy, was he at least nominated for Best Supporting?
Nope.
No, that is a mighty shame because man, that man left. He almost got me crying when he died in that movie. Sorry, mild spoiler there.
What I will also say about this film, I want to touch back on how much I love the cinematography.
Yeah.
When I watched this movie, I thought I could practically smell the environments.
I felt that too, actually.
Beautiful and vibrant they were.
I felt I could smell the pine wood and all that, like the little chips of wood and everything.
Right. I think the issue with the narrator of this film, though, which is the thing that for everyone it's holding it back.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he just says exactly what's on the screen and how you're supposed to feel. And this is a Netflix movie, and I wonder if that was Netflix. Now, and I can understand why Netflix would want to. If the whole film didn't have the narration and we really were holding on to it, it could be like...
Modern audiences might be like, wait, is something supposed to happen or is someone going to do something? I totally get that.
Right.
But I think also what was really great about this movie too was not only just its atmosphere, but just its use of color too. Like the color, we were just talking about how the gray color palette was in Sentimental Value. This movie has a gray color palette too, but once we see that gray color palette, we then start seeing his world fall apart and come back together in different formats, and that is the strength, really.
Oh,
That is the
yes.
strength, where the colors come and we feel like, okay, his life is falling apart. We're going to get orange. We're going to get dark blacks in the background like fire. Okay, but now it feels like things are starting to turn around. We're going to add maybe a little blue sky with some pink clouds in the back and the sunrise, and we're going to make the scenery just green enough for you to feel like you can smell the dew.
Right. And you start as I was watching this film, and even they do something smart with the narrator at the end.
Yeah.
Because you're just going through Robert's whole life.
Mm-hmm.
The movie never tells you what it all meant.
No, it doesn't. It tells you how to feel, but it doesn't tell you what it meant.
Right.
Yeah.
And even the narrator's final line, and with giving a mild spoiler, is, and at that moment he knew what it all meant. Cuts away, like, wait, what did it mean?
That's
and
open for interpretation.
Yeah, that's what the film wants you to say, is we've just presented this man's life and we want you to interpret it what his life meant.
I think
that's the crazy thing. He's not like a leader. He is just a guy who lived his life in a certain time period.
Yeah.
And it made me really think about, like, that there were trillions upon trillions of people who lived in this world, and we always talk about the people that were like kings and leaders and deities and all
this
this
is
stuff.
just a dude. Like,
right.
this is just a guy.
It made me think about all the other dudes.
Yeah.
That had just lived a life kind of similar to this.
Or maybe they found stories of themselves to pass around to other people, like William H. Macy's character, which again, he was the most endearing for me. I can't stress that enough.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just this, and I think that's just a powerful way to tell this story. And I feel so bad that Train Dreams was coming out in this year, because it's surrounded by what I think truly was a phenomenal year for film.
I think Train Dreams also, it was it was an emotional story that was trying to guide your emotions through the movie, but I think Hamnet succeeded a little better in that department. And
I can see where you're feeling.
That was the narrator. That was a little bit of the narrator's, I won't say fault, but the narrator is what brought it back on that front. That's probably what it was too.
Right.
When I guess a good example is movies like, Disney movies, for example, like the first Snow White, the original, the animated movie, that was an emotional story where your emotions were guiding you like throughout the whole movie. And by the end, you feel like, even though it's a fairy tale, there's some satisfaction. This is another case. You've got all these different emotions guiding you. And when it's all wrapped up, you have an idea of how to feel, but you still need to interpret what you saw.
Right.
That was where Hamnet succeeded. This is where the movie almost made it had the narrator not been there constantly telling me how to feel, sadly. Right. Not constantly, but in certain parts where I was like, yeah, I know what's going on, but like you said, this is a Netflix movie. We can't just let a scene stay still for 2 minutes. We should probably give some guidance. Yeah, even though narration may not always be the best idea, I understand its purpose.
Also, this was Carrie Conway's second film she was in that was nominated for Best Picture. Good for you, Carrie Conway.
Good for you, yeah.
And also, I love her because she's been on stage for years, so to see her now in a lot of films is very nice.
And she played the geographer or whatever in the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, getting now through, we're going to conclude this by saying who we want to win each category. And I think we should start at the bottom and work our way to the top. For context, for the live action and animated short films, I don't think we've seen any of them.
No.
And the documentary features as well. We apologize. That's quite a bit.
There's a lot to go through.
So, best visual effects: Avatar: Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World: Rebirth, The Lost Bust, and Sinners. Who do you want to win?
I want to give it to Sinners, mainly because I have seen it. I have not seen Avatar: The Way of Water, not The Way of Fire and Ash, even though that's probably going to go to that movie.
It probably will, but I can totally see that first shot where Smoke is rolling the cigarette for his brother and hands it to him. You're like, wait, there's two Michael B. Jordans? Like, it really sits just how good the effects are. All right, best editing: F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle, Sinners, and Sentimental Value.
I've already said, One Battle After Another should get best editing.
I personally want it just a little bit more to go to Marty Supreme, but I could totally get it going to One Battle After Another. I won't be upset. I just think Marty Supreme's editing was just super impressive to me.
So I was the same with One Battle. It was so snappy. I kept my attention. But yeah, let's keep going. Makeup and hairstyling, I wanted to go
well, the nominees are Frankenstein, Kokoro, Sinners, Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister.
I'm going to give it to Frankenstein.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's Del Toro. You can't go wrong.
And costume design: Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners.
Well, here's the thing about a lot of these movies. They're all period pieces with the exception of Avatar. So that's where I'm like, okay.
I feel like Frankenstein should get it
I feel
just
that
because
too,
it goes for gothic period piece.
It goes for broke on that front,
and it's more like a fairy tale with period costumes, and I think that's really cool.
And just props for getting the look of the creature from the book also.
Right. Cinematography, Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
Sinners, hands down. Just Sinners.
Now, Sinners, if it wins, I won't be upset, but Train Dreams, I personally want to win.
I understand where you're
just
coming
because,
from,
like...
Or One Battle After Another. Like, the
One-
lighting and just the way shots moved. Like, but it's got to go to Sinners because of that scene where time warps. That's all I can say.
If it wins that, and also the fact that was shot in IMAX and you only can shoot for like, I think it's 18 to 20 seconds.
Yes.
And that's a 4-minute sequence they had to stitch together.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, what?
Exactly.
Best production design, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle, and Sinners.
Wow, this is actually tricky.
Because I think it's easy for me. It's Frankenstein.
I was gonna say Frankenstein, but I was on the fence with Frankenstein and Sinners, but let's keep it at Frankenstein. Yeah.
Right. And best casting, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle, Secret Agent, and Sinners.
This is another draw. I'm gonna give this one to One Battle After Another.
I'm gonna give this one to Sinners. I really the casting is great. And,
yeah.
And if it hadn't been Sinners this year, I would have given it to Marty Supreme just because it's such wild picks. Like Penn Jillette is in this movie. Kevin O'Leary, non-actors who are really good, actually.
Yeah.
All right, best sound, F1, Frankenstein, One Battle, Sinners, and Surratt.
I gotta give it to Sinners.
I almost want to give it to Sinners, especially with the creepy vampire noises they made. But One Battle just does such a good job setting like how far away something sounds or how silence is dreaded. But I don't know, I'm kind of with you on Sinners in the way that it creates its sound and landscape.
Because it's all, like I was saying earlier, it was all nothing but atmosphere for the most part. So when you've got all that going for you, you still need the sound to accompany it. So, and if the sound hadn't worked for certain moments, the movie, I'm not going to say would have fallen apart, but it probably wouldn't have worked as well.
All right, we got Best Original Song, Dear Me from Diane Warren, Relentless, Golden from K-Bop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams.
I will have to give... Okay, so I did see K-Pop Demon Hunter, and I really liked it. I did like it. I got to listen to the song again, Golden. So on that note alone, I'm going to give it to I Lied to You because it's the song in that moment I was talking about.
Right. But here's the thing. I don't think I Lied to You is even the best song in the film.
Okay.
I really think the song that Sammy sings when they're driving...
That's a good point.
That's really good. And some of the... there are some great songs in this film, don't get me wrong.
I think it's there because it's in the best part of the movie.
Right. And
so
I personally want it to be Golden, even though I feel it's like Amelia Perez got 3 Best Original Song nods, and yet K-Pop Demon Hunters gets 1, despite the fact that all the songs are great.
Really good.
Like,
I'm not even you and I are not K-pop people.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, Dear Me, and as much as I love Train Dreams, why is this song here?
Yeah.
Like, you could have put in another song from Sinners or K-Pop Demon Hunters in
and
here.
It would have been just fine.
Right. Best Original Score, Bugonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle, and Sinners. It's obvious. It's Sinners.
Because that's the movie but that hinges on music.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody here does some great work. Begonia's score is very tense. Alexandre Desplat creates a gorgeous landscape. I don't really remember Hamnet's score as much.
I only remember it enough because I just saw it. So.
Right. And One Battle has some really neat music.
It does, but the music is not the driving force of that movie.
But Ludwig Göransson goes for different sounds that you wouldn't expect from Sinners, while also giving you the sounds you expect and then combining them together. He deserves a third Oscar. If really anyone on Sunday deserves a third Oscar,
it's guy.
Ludwig Göransson. He's kind of what, you were talking about how Emma Stone is up for it, is probably the next Meryl Streep. I think Ludwig Göransson's the next John Williams, in that he keeps getting nominated for almost everything he writes.
That or Hans Zimmer, too, yeah.
Well, Hans Zimmer doesn't get nominated for everything he's written.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Right. It's John Williams has over 50 Oscar nominations.
That makes sense.
And I can see Ludwig Göransson getting on that level.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going to skip over these ones. And now we go to Best International Feature. It Was Just an Accident, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Surratt, and the voice of the Hind Rajab.
Because I've only seen 2 of these, I'm going to give it to Sentimental Value.
I'm personally going to give it to The Secret Agent, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about It Was Just an Accident.
Same.
Jafar Panahi, man, with the current political landscape, he's an Iranian director who escaped Iran.
Iran, yeah.
And his films have been criticisms of the Iranian government
boy.
currently in its revolution.
Damn.
So, and he's been imprisoned for it too.
Of course he has.
And
yeah.
his last film that he made, he won the Palme d'Or for it at the Cannes Film Festival, and he had to escape prison and go to the festival to do it.
Oh man.
Like, you want to talk about a director that truly is loving his craft?
Yes.
It's Jafar Panahi. Or I apologize if I'm pronouncing any name wrong. Best animated feature, we have Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amiale, or The Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2.
I've only seen 3 of these, and I'm going to give it, look, Zootopia 2 was a huge step up from the first movie. Elio was a very, very charming adventure, but K-pop Demon Hunters just knocked my socks off.
Right, it's so good. I will say, unlike last year, I don't feel any of these 5 deserve a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah.
But
or animated feature, yeah.
Yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters is the one I want to win. I'll be honest, I kind of think Zootopia 2 is kind of on the first movie's level for me.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of feeling like it's getting a little overrated for me personally. And while Elio is clearly in the underrated category, like people rolling their eyes about asking, how did this get nominated? Do you not have a soul?
Do you not have kids? Do you not see it with them? Yeah.
Well, we don't have kids.
Well, we don't have, yeah, so.
All right, Best Adapted Screenplay. Bugonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle, and Train Dreams.
Oh, this is tricky. I gotta give it to Frankenstein, personally, for following its spirit and everything. But if One Battle takes it, I won't be mad. If Hamnet takes it, I won't be mad.
Right, One Battle, though, just for me, I really want Paul Thomas Anderson to win.
I hear where you're going for, yeah.
And I think this script, he's been working on it for over 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it definitely shows.
Yeah.
Best Original Screenplay, Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. I feel like it's obvious.
I am at a bit of a draw, but because I'm very much leaning towards this movie and everything I've said about it, it's going to go to Sinners, personally. Marty Supreme was the other one I was leaning on.
Right.
Because that was another, like I said, that one had a very tight-knit script that kept everything moving at a great pace, but Sinners is just a different level.
Right. Sinners is just such a smartly written original film that combines so many different genres so well, kind of similar to how I feel about One Battle.
Yeah.
And it's just a great those are both great scripts. On to the actor categories, which is very much a toss-up because we don't really know who's gonna win.
We don't.
Best Actress in Supporting Role, Elle Fanning, Igna Ebsada Elias, Amy Madigan, Wunmi Masaku, and Teyana Taylor.
This is tricky. I want to give it to Wunmi Masaku, personally.
That's fair.
Because she just
as Annie, she's amazing.
She left such a great impression.
For me, I want to give it to Teyana Taylor just because what she does in her 18 minutes of screen time and how she holds the screen is great.
Mm-hmm.
But Amy Madigan has pretty much been winning almost everywhere for Weapons. I don't know if you've seen it. You're more the horror
I need
guy
to see Weapons, yeah, because I don't have HBO Max anymore, sadly.
Right. It seems amazing.
Yeah, and Ellie Fanning, I'm glad she's really stepping up.
Right.
I don't know what happened to Dakota, but I'm glad we got
she's still
Ellie.
acting. Dakota's acting. Still, she's done a bunch of stuff. Elle Fanning's has gotten more interesting work.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
You should watch their lie detector video they did.
Okay.
It is so cute. Best Actor in a Supporting Role, it's Benicio del Toro for One Battle, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle, and Stellan Skarsgård Sentimental Value.
I'm a little torn.
What a stacked cast.
I'm torn. I'm actually really torn. I'm going with my gut because of nostalgia and my own sentimental value, Frankenstein.
That's completely fair. I can see Jacob Elordi does a great job. For me personally,
but if Delroy Lindo takes
I want it to go to Delroy.
I won't be mad, yeah.
Like, what he does in this film is so brilliant, and it's such a great performance by him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's but if Sean Penn wins, I'll understand.
I mean, I'll understand too, but like we said, not the biggest fan of the guy. Wait, is he on there?
Yep,
Sean
he's on
Penn?
there.
Okay, yeah, you're right, he is. Yeah, Del Toro was great too. Benicio del Toro and Stellan. The fact that this is his first Oscar nod,
and
it's
Delroy's first nods is ridiculous.
This is insane.
And then we get into Best Actress: Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson, Song Sung Blue, Renata Renisi for Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone for Bugonia.
I got to give it to Emma Stone still. I mean, Jessie Buckley was great in Hamnet, But there was just something about Emma Stone and how she owns that movie and like
Right.
commands presence. Not that Buckley doesn't have presence. I'm going to be seeing her in The Bride next week, so we'll see how she excels in that department. But Emma Stone is, like I said, she's moving her way up there.
Right. I will personally want to give this to Jessie Buckley with what she does as Agnes and how she breaks your heart
Yes.
and commands it. Now, I will say, I haven't seen If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You.
Same, yeah.
But from the clips I've seen, Rose Byrne just dominates.
But Renata, Renata really does she has all the powerhouse moments towards herself. When Skarsgård isn't talking with Fanning, and even though his scenes are great, Renata really grips you with what she's going through in that movie.
Right. It's a great list. And If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, though, I've heard, just from the clips I've seen, I can understand why people are saying Rose Byrne is getting snubbed this year. I can understand it, but also Jessie Buckley is incredible. So it's just a really good year with great actors all around.
And this is one of those moments like, yeah, if they're getting snubbed, look, if you had to lose to someone, if you're losing to Emma Stone, that's actually an accomplishment, if anything.
Right. Best Actor, Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, and Wagner Moura, The Secret Agent.
I have already said what I believe, so I'm going to still give it to Timothée Chalamet with this one because I think he's really. It's not that he's moved it. I know I said, he's finally improving. No, I think he's finally made it as that actor.
And while I don't disagree with you, I just think what Wagner Moura does in The Secret Agent is insane work. And I say that as somebody who has studied acting and has seen what he's doing.
To be fair, I meant to bring this up. I'm not saying he was trying to copycat anyone, but I felt like he took some notes from Pedro Pascal in The Mandalorian.
I can see that. Yeah.
That's
Side
just
note,
how I
Wagner Moura is going to be in the Darth Maul show.
Oh, that is awesome.
And apparently he's a huge Star Wars fan, so I'm just saying. We've already had Andy Serkis play 2 roles.
We can have Wagner Moura do the same.
And now to Best Director, we have Chloe Zhao in Hamnet, Josh Shafty and Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson in One Battle After Another, Joaquin Trier in Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler in Sinners.
Once again, I find myself torn. But because I've talked to death about this movie compared to One Battle, I gotta still give this one to Sinners.
I can totally understand, and if he wins, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah.
But I personally want this to be Paul Thomas Anderson with One Battle After Another.
Yeah.
But it is interesting. These are both of their movies that they directed and wrote.
And they're neck and neck. Yeah.
Are genre bending, trying so many different things and succeeding in different areas.
And now they're neck and neck in terms of recognition at the Academy.
Right. And what I also love is that PTA and Ryan Coogler has talked about how much he loved One Battle After Another and how great it is. And PTA's partner, Maya Rudolph, she has said once we saw Sinners, he would not shut up about it. So this is very much more friendly competition between 2 amazing films, and it can go to either one of them. And for Best Picture, I personally wanted to go with One Battle After Another with an asterisk. If Sinners wins, I'm going to still be cheering for it.
I'm still going to give it to Frankenstein, but with the asterisk, if One Battle or Sinners takes it, I won't be angry either.
Right. And the film industry is in a rough spot right now. It's dealing with a lot of different change, and
we've got studios buying another studio. We've got uncertainty over whether or not certain independency is going to remain, or whether or not certain creative liberties, or not liberties, but creative outlooks are going to shift towards a specific viewpoint. Yeah.
But I always say the pendulum swings.
It always swings.
And we're seeing a different kind of swing. I don't think this is death of film. I
think
the art is evolving, it's shifting, and sometimes it's for the better and sometimes it's for the worse.
I mean, Alejandro González Iñárritu, back when Marvel was at its peak not at its peak, but back when Marvel was truly peaking after Phase 2, going on to Phase 3, he was saying, Marvel movies are the genocide of cinema. I was like, well, we're still seeing movies today, Alejandro. So,
right. In fact, one of those Marvel directors is currently made Sinners.
Yeah, there we go.
There is something to be said about what these guys are doing.
And that Marvel director's movie was even nominated for Best Picture too, Black Panther, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the second one should have been, and I will die on that.
I actually got to be honest. I agree with you. It's not that the first one was bad. It's like, no, I actually think the second one carried more heart into it. But that's a video for another day.
That's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
And also, PTA was the one at the time when Marvel movies were coming out and directors were all bashing them.
And he was the one saying, I like these movies. What's the problem?
I love these. And I also have to state what I love about Coogler and PTA just real quick. Coogler is clearly loves film on its own and how it owns and operates, and he loves the different viewpoints.
Mm-hmm.
And with PTA, it's funny, outside of his film work, he's incredibly normal.
Yeah.
He's got a wife. He's got his partner with Maya Rudolph. He's got his kids. He's a big fan of Marvel movies and Adam Sandler comedies.
Yeah.
Like, he's a very kind of normal dude.
Well, you told
who
me
happens to be a great artist.
Well, you told me whenever he's with family, it's like, yeah, that's family time, not movie time. We do something. That's my time at work. I'm supposed to be a father and a husband when I'm with my family. So that's the good balance he's struck. Yeah.
Well, and the last question for all of you friends is, who do you want to win? What is it you're looking forward to? Do you think that we're right or wrong in our list? Let us know down below. And we'll see you next time.
Did you think War of the Worlds should have gotten any recognition? Do you think Ice Cube should have been nominated for an award? Let us know.
The War of the Worlds sweep that never happened. How disappointing. Take care, y'all.
Catch you later.